The festival is nigh!
Rambler versus Asym, Elden Squares Week 5. Here we go. Ready, center square.
Limgrave Tree Scent +0.
Oh God.
My favorite middle square.
I will go for gold free. For status effect Ashes of Wars. That's like the square of the day today. That is the center square. Snowy's very excited. In terms of the early rush squares, we have crackpots in the on the top right diagonal, column 4, row 2. That one's very quick. Rune Bear in the bottom row is another one that's fast. Troll Bosses, bottom left-hand corner. I know Blue Dancer, top left.
I like that.
Another fast one. Rambler's most hated square, Altus Gelmir perfume bottles only, is on the board. Row 4, column 2. Nothing super crazy and super late on this board. Do we have any capital? I don't believe.
Not a lot of capital, not even a lot of Altus, really.
No.
Kind of similar to my game I just played, which means the Altus Gelmir perfume bottle only square can be pretty oppressive. I think on this board less so, which is probably a good thing. You can do lightning perfume bottles into virgins. They don't need to be wieldable, and it's one of the easiest ways to kill them. So if this was an Altus heavy board, that'd probably be a serious problem. We will not be seeing that. It'll be more of just a pretty valuable positional square that can get done relatively early.
And we see Golden Halberd in a starting class.
Interesting.
And it has 15 vig. I mean, it's hard to get G-Halb online. The thing is, I think it's bait.
Yeah. You also have Great Katana in there.
I think with Blue Dancer, Rune Bear Boss, Red Wolf, and a relatively early board, I think that G-Halb is bait.
Yeah, it's going to be too hard to get online fast enough. You're going to spend your first 15 minutes working on that.
I think you go Bastard Sword. This is my personal favorite class.
Yeah, it
kind of sucks, but like it has wieldable Bastard Sword.
Yeah, it's the only one with... I mean, Steel Wire Torch is wieldable on the Vagabond. It actually does good poise damage.
I think the only thing you can justifiably torch is Tree Scent.
Yeah.
Torch on Tree Scent does bang, though.
It works, 100%. It's better than Club. Can confirm now.
Let's see what Rambler picked. I think Rambler did go with Great Katana.
He did go with Great Katana. I don't hate that. The rush Source Seal early, you'll be able to get it online. Feels awkward to rush Source Seal that early on this board.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it'll put you near your status effect Ash of Wars, I guess, though, so maybe not.
Well, I guess Rambler's viewing it as I'm probably cooked regardless in regards to the... Sorry, I got to refresh Rambler's stream. I'm going to give it a second. There's a... No, okay, Rambler's good. Never mind, we're good.
Yeah, it's working on my end. It should be fine.
Right. But I think it's like... To get Bastard Sword online, you have to start lanes between. So... Yep. You're kind of...
Bots,
yeah.
Best rush square right now. It's a tough board to read again. It's an early board that's not super synergistic necessarily. There is synergy here. But you're gonna have to dig a little deeper than just, oh, I have Tree Scent on my board and I need to kill tree bosses or Avatar.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is an interesting one.
I'm curious to see what Rambler cooks up. He's definitely a little more of a tactical mind, and I always love his insight into games. Asym, I imagine, will identify pretty early. Cracked Pots, I want to do that and see where he plays out from there. I could see Rambler doing something else, but...
Asym's had some really great board reads and plays and some really poor board reads and plays, right? Like, he played one of the cleanest single matches I think we've seen all season against Dino last week. I mean, he got majority in just over an hour. I don't think anyone's ever beating that. That will probably be the fastest majority time the entire season. And then, had a uncharacteristic performance against Ra. Rambler, to be fair, there's something about when he plays Helios, but against everyone else is very consistent, right?
Yeah. He's played a lot of bingo and he watches a lot of bingo.
Yeah. There seems to be some sort of mental block fairly consistently when he plays Helios, but outside of those games, he plays very consistent. Yep. Also, chat, I'm going to end the Gamba here when they both get Torrent, so if you want a Gamba, make sure to get it in. Yeah, I think Rambler will go cracked pots.
I'd be very surprised if he didn't. It seems like the very clear best first choice here. You know you're going to be racing it, but like, I mean, maybe Blue Dancer is another valid choice here.
I think Asym's going Blue Dancer, yeah. I mean, he can't go crackpots early. He didn't even start with them.
Okay, yeah. So he's looking to get the weapon online and go Blue Dancer.
Yeah. It's pretty clearly a Blue Dancer play from Asym. Which I'm not sure which one I like better. And they're both very viable.
Yeah, the 10 cracked pots diagonal is kind of savage. As is the Blue Dancer. They're both annoying if you get one or two or three squares on them for your opponent.
Yeah, so Rambo actually goes back to first step here.
Interesting.
No Millicent.
Millicent
paintings. I mean, he can't go Rimbear. He can't wield Great Katana. Is he just immediately going for Pharaoh? If he is, I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's great for Sword Seal.
This is what I was saying with the Great Katana classes. You can just rush Pharaoh and get it online if you want to. It puts you right next to 2 status effect Ash of Wars as well, which is not normally a rush square, but it can be pretty fast. It'll set up his Altis if he gets Bloody Slash as well. Have his weapon online, like, and you get middle square out of it. And I believe, can you put Ice Spear on the Great Katana?
I don't think so.
Okay, so that's not a play here for an easy Frost Ash of War that's OP, but you can still go Hoarfrost Stomp, and then Great Katana is probably viable all the way through on this board, besides maybe Crystallian Trio.
And Asym here, yeah, clearly just going for Blue Dancer to start.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's just...
Is there something we're missing? Is there some sort of... Rambler doesn't have anything starred, because at this point he just is the board, right? He doesn't need to take notes, he just is. Is there something we're missing? Like, is there some sort of Altis line that's really strong?
I mean, Altis itself is... You have good diagonal with Worm Face, which is an easy boss to kill. That's along with 12 incants if he pushes Ash of War. I mean, he has all the blocks on the Blue Dancer diag at that point.
Yeah.
Trecent Duo. I mean, it's a little off play. I think it's maybe saying the early game isn't valuable enough for me to like necessarily have to rush anything.
And Rambler's not doing bottle check, which tells me that there's a chance they G8'd it out. Gentleman's agreement to not do it. Because I know Rambler fucking hates it.
There's a chance. He could have forgotten as well. I think it's a really easy check to miss when you're rushing something else. Or it's one you'll say, I'll do it later, and you forget about it later.
We'll go full with Asym here, though. Also gets a curve sword check. If that's Falks, it could be good.
Yeah.
And it is Falks.
Oh.
I mean, it's not ideal, but if it's a dry weapon seed, very usable.
Yeah,
very easy to get online.
Yep. Very cheap, very low stat requirements. I mean, the only thing that would be bad here with it would be the Crystallian Trio. Everything else with that will feel pretty good, I imagine. In this fight, one of the easier ones, a little tankier than most bosses early, but as long as you can get staggers, which with this Ash of War, it's almost a given.
This fight literally might be easier than Rick.
It might be. The only way it's hard is if you have a weapon that doesn't do any poise damage, but I don't know who's starting with a dagger and coming to fight this.
Helios used Jiggy Mace.
Oh yeah, I do remember seeing that.
Jiggy Mace is the monk's flame mace. We call it that because you do a jig before you attack with the charge R2. Alright, there's Blue Dancer for Asym.
Oh,
I'm curious to see if he'll
Okay,
actually
he
take
went
advantage of it.
wieldable?
I feel like a lot of people grab this square and then just forget they have that talisman, but it gives a pretty significant damage buff if you run around without armor. It's just very
okay.
risky
Might
play,
go for
obviously.
Rune Bear now.
Rambler's surprised he went wieldable.
Yeah, I mean, there is 2 rush squares on this board that would require a weapon, and getting both of them isn't bad. Blue Dancer and Rune Bear boss.
Yeah.
Do 5 unique blocks off rip.
I mean, Rune Bear. Rambler's saying he goes Rune Bear. No, he didn't misread starting classes. He just the classes with wieldable were really bad, and also you couldn't go wieldable and crackpots unless there was something horrific, right? The only stat with the class with a decent one was the Bastard Sword class, but you needed to go lands between to wield it.
100%.
So Rambler's gonna know that he has some prio on pots.
I mean, significant prio. Those, if you don't start with the 3 pots, the extra 3 are pretty annoying to get.
I actually think
Options.
Rambler should push trolls.
Trolls is very good for him right here.
Yeah. Because if you do trolls, Asym knows he's screwed on pots. And you can push him into Altus potentially early, or like a status effect Ash of War rush on a board where you don't want to, right?
Yeah, and I think status effect Ash of War might even be a more valuable play because you also get the block out of it, but it is a significantly longer time investment early, which you
Yeah.
don't necessarily want. But it will spread you out into Kaled and Liurnia pretty significantly.
Very true.
It's always interesting watching Rambler play.
Yeah. Also, a synergy that could happen later if it sticks around. Wormface and Physic Tears. Not one you see all the time, but could happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only
Oof,
synergy with Physic Tears.
Asym.
Almost missed the skip. Hold
That
on,
was
man.
sketchy as hell.
Made it.
I think I see Rakshasas. I think that was Rakshasas.
In round table?
Yeah.
Okay. I did see Asym starting class had Rakshasa's Gauntlets, which isn't a big damage buff, but it is a little minor damage buff.
Alright, I wonder where...
Asym coming up on Halberd check. This could be big here.
He hasn't said... Alright. I was hoping Rambler would tell us what he was doing, because it's very hard to tell what he's doing, because he can kind of be doing everything. Health and Steeple in the Greatsword check there.
Oh my. One of the best bingo weapons. I mean, bar none. It's
Yeah.
way up there. The only downside is a 22 int requirement. With the intelligence tier, which is fairly easy to grab, that obviously comes down to 12.
Yep.
So
And
not
there's
actually
Physic Tears.
significant. Yeah. Not a significantly difficult weapon to get online.
We'll see what the Halberd check is here. This could be huge for Asym. It's terrible. Yep, it is Halberd. That is awful.
That is unfortunate. And running back for the gold rune, probably smart there. Get as much money as you can. Also picking up the crystal darts. That'll be useful for duo trio bosses in Kaled. You can do the watchdog duo and have them attack each other with the crystal darts. It makes that fight really easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Asym is pushing towards Liurnia. I think towards like Academy. Sorry, 4th match of the day. I start to die.
You're good.
Rambler.
Rambler's going, I think, for the other hat.
I
Oh,
think
no,
he's
troll.
going for status effect. No, he's way past trolls. He was just
you're
grabbing
right.
those smithing stones.
I thought he was farther north.
No, I mean,
Numbers.
I think he's going for full Dectus and status effect Ash of Boars, which is, if he is able to get it, I think potentially the row 3 is good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Two Crucible
not...
Knights and Red Wolf, though, are very, very easy. Like, Asym might just go Red Wolf anyway right here.
Yeah, so there's pros and cons of getting Altus early on a board without a lot of Altus, right? Because Asym will not be expecting Rambler to go Altus early, like to get Altus early, right? Dectus early. The pro of it is that Asym's not expecting it, right? So if you push a line with Altus, you can catch him out. The con of it is obviously like you're going to be losing time in the early game.
Definitely.
But Asym also isn't really making him pay, and Rambler's
looking to set up Weeping.
Quit out. Yeah, he's going Rune Bearer. So this is a concept that Rambler and I talked about when we were doing commentary yesterday. He was like, yeah, if I'm going for a square that I don't think I'm actually going to get, like, I think might be contested, instead of saying, like, his philosophy is different from, like, the I sack everything, like, I just full send this. It's like he subscribes to, like, the I greed as much prep as I possibly can out of this square, like, and then I'll go do it. So we saw him run around and grab grab Grace as he get closer to Fort Height. And now he's like, okay, I guess I'll go do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different. I think a lot of people in the Golden Order say if I'm racing a square, I'm going to really contest it and push hard. But it is, I kind of agree with Rambler in that I'll take as much value as I can getting to a square. And that way, if I lose it, like, I have more graces, maybe I have more runes, maybe I did an extra item check early that could be valuable. And if I win it and have all that, I'm just in a better position versus racing it. And if you do lose it, it's a net negative, right?
Yeah. Also, Cash, thank you so much for subbing to Reddy.
Oh, thank you, Cash.
I didn't know if you didn't see it or if you just like didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, unfortunately with the setup, I don't have my noties up.
Okay. Yeah.
I have them on each screen, so I don't have the delay from watching the main stream. My setup is scuffed, but don't worry about it. We're here and we're
Do you only have 2 monitors?
Oh no, I have 3 monitors.
Oh,
but
okay.
I need the main stream on one as well.
That's true.
Rune Bear fight with Great Katana should be pretty easy. Great Katana has some pretty insane poise damage on the light attacks. You can see there, I think Rambler mostly did light attacks and gets a stagger pretty early. Actually, went
not able to
overhead.
get the riposte though.
I'd be surprised if you could weave in a full overhead stance and get a riposte. It was kind of close.
I don't think you can.
There's another one. Great Katana
Alright.
showing its stuff right here.
Asym now going to round
More
table.
hit. There we go. Rambler's on the board.
Yeah, he gets Rune Bearer. Now it looks like he is going to go into Liurnia now.
I mean, Rambler actually has a pretty significant map advantage outside of Liurnia here right now. It's almost like a slow play, right? Rambler tends to...
Yeah, okay, that was
Rakshas's
Rakshas's Great Katana.
Oh. With Physic tiers on the board, it's actually reasonable to take the time to go get the Dex tier, which makes that actually a pretty usable weapon here. Dex tier's kind of out of the way.
Does Asym have Seeple?
I don't believe he did Greatsword check.
I don't think he did either. He's leveling Dex to 15. He did not buy Rakshasas there. Oh, he's going for Falks.
Interesting. I don't hate it. I mean, it's like a very usable weapon.
Fox was before Blue Dancer. In the Blue
Yeah, it was
Dancer
in the
cave.
cave.
Also, I think Asym has his mic muted because he's talking, but I can't hear him.
Make sure you don't have his stream muted, brother.
Yes. Very, very sure.
I figured.
I wouldn't be able to hear him upgrading.
True.
Yeah.
All right. Rambler just now getting into Liurnia. Crackpot's not marked at 20 minutes is kind of insane. That might end up being around much later than you'd expect.
Well, yeah, because Rambler knows that Asym didn't start with pots.
Yeah.
And Rambler's acutely aware of that at this point. So he's like, why do I push pots? Like, why?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
And for Asym, he probably kind of just chalked that square up in his mind immediately.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure at some point he will do it because like the Stormville route for pots, you know, without starting with it can be done at some point. That being said, there's not a ton of reason to go to Stormville on this board. Maybe like Dupe, Crucible Knights.
Dupe and Crucible Knights, you have just enough reason to get in there probably. But it's not great. Like,
yeah,
you can justify it for sure, but it's not great.
I think Asym chose Falx over Rakshasa because he just wants to get online and start killing things. I think he wants trolls.
Yeah, I mean, if he can get trolls in Red Wolf, he pretty much has bell-bearing hunters as well.
If Rambler does go Red Wolf, that could be very strong.
Yeah, Rambler pushing Red Wolf right now feels really good.
Weird start for Asym.
Yeah, I think he was looking for the stagger and a little more punish there and just kind of messed up switching his weapon. I would honestly stick with the Foul because you have it upgraded. There was no reason to really go for that.
Rambler's struggling to kill the Scarab.
Hey, Scarabs will do that. And yeah,
all right, there's Bulls down.
Annihilating the 5-time. Holy moly. That's one troll boss. Asym immediately.
Yeah, he's immediately going to the second. So Asym goes trolls. I'm trying to think. If Rambler wins Red Wolf, this could be really good. I'm not sure if he can though.
Yeah, did Asym almost certainly already grabbed the Academy key.
Is Asym? How did he not die there? You can see. Unfortunately, we can't hear him, but you can see the shock on his face. How did he not die?
Yeah, that should have been a death.
Because yeah, if Rambler wins Red Wolf, he is ahead on Altus, and Asym's not going to be expecting Altus early. Like Red Wolf into Crucibles into this row 3 could be pretty nasty.
Yeah, he's also just ahead in Kaled and Weeping right now. More map progress. If he gets Red Wolf, like that's a lot of the value in Liurnia that Asym could use here. Bell Bearings, obviously 2 troll bosses and Red Wolf.
Yeah.
But if you let Rambler set up the whole map and then lose your threat here, that's a pretty bad position to be in. But I do understand going troll bosses first, start to build a diagonal and get a block, right?
I think the idea for Asym is going to be to go status effect after this. My guess is the idea is
Asym missed the jump off again.
Do Dancer and Troll bosses on the same line. Force Rambler into Red Wolf. Then you go status effects, activate both diagonals.
Yeah, that works really well.
I think that's the idea. Because like you kind of got to think about, okay, especially on these types of boards where there isn't like a ton of synergy or something, you kind of got to think about, okay, if I do these squares, I force my opponent here, and then when my opponent goes here, like, you know, like what's their like do they take it, like what's their next move, these sorts of things, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Asym greeds Red Wolf. There's a chance he does, but I don't expect him to, being honest. I expect him to sit
Yeah.
and do status effect.
That makes a lot of sense. I almost feel you go Red Wolf first if you were looking at the actual column. Because that gives you the prio on bell bearings, and then you can go catch up on troll bosses. Or
He's going south Raya Gate, though.
I mean, if he gets greedy and gets it here, it'll pay off. Rambler is not... He doesn't have a weapon online. Is at EG, so he's just going to be behind.
He's going south Raya.
Oh, it's going to be tight. Unfortunately, Asym also has a +4.
Yeah.
I mean, even race, he just wins. Yeah, and more terrifying than getting forced into Red Wolf here is your opponent getting Red Wolf. You're now down priority on bell bearings. And you're looking 3 duo trio bosses in Caelid right in the face. Which is a long square at a low level.
Yeah. I mean, this could get really bad, actually,
this
immediately.
Could get bad quickly.
Because I don't think there's a faster line either.
No, there's not.
Because Rambler's only, like, Rambler's options would be the columns, right? If you wanted to just line race, his options would be the columns, and none of them are faster.
Mm-mm. Asym kind of sacking up here. This is a bold play.
This is very bold. Well, I know, I'm sure he's pissed after his loss last week. Like, I think, like, he beat Dino, and I think he said he wasn't feeling good going into the match, and, you know, he maybe overlooked Ra a little bit. And he went down to Ra, and, like, I think he's kind of just pissed. And, like, even though he doesn't really show it, because, like, he's a very, you know, happy dude, but, like, kind of like, fuck it. Like, yeah. I'm just going to send.
Might as well. I mean, if you can... The worst thing that happens here is you lose Red Wolf and, like, oh well.
Yeah.
It's a 2-2 game, and I think it's unreasonable to expect if you lose Red Wolf here, Rambler set up the entire map. In this case, losing Red Wolf is perhaps a bit more dire, but I don't even think it can happen.
Yeah. It would be pretty shocking if it did.
Yeah.
I mean, because Rambler...
You probably have to die twice.
Yeah.
Or die really late.
The only thing is you can get decent equity out of duo trio bosses. You could do Crucible Knight Misbegotten Warrior duo for a Crucible Knight and a Misbegotten boss. You could do Petri Crystallian trio and then just something else, right?
Yeah. Probably Nox duo in that case.
Yeah, or Pumpkin.
Now we have Asym starting up on his Red Wolf fight. I'm curious to see the damage out of the Falx here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think he will be fine. I didn't say anything. I meant he's going to definitely die. Yeah, the jump attack moveset on Curse Swords is just obscene. Just needs one more hit here. This should be the spot to get it, and yep. Asym with Red Wolf and Rambler.
Okay, I'm McFucked.
Already staring down the barrel of a pretty awful bingo threat.
Rambler just said he's McFucked.
Oh no.
And Asym might just send this.
You might as well.
And now, like, this is one thing about rushing an early bingo. Rambler now has to play a 50-50 game. Of, like, does he go for duo trio because it's less obvious, or does he go with bell-bearing hunters because it's faster, right?
Yeah, with Red Wolf being here, I think you have to go duo trio.
Yeah. But that's exactly why you don't.
Oh.
I mean, I think Asym will rush Bellbearing Hunter. It looks Asym is clearly
Asym has
rushing
to rush
Bellbearing
Hunters.
The question is,
win Red Wolf.
do you rush? Do you actually go for the bingo? Is the question, right?
No, I don't think he will.
If I'm Rambler, I literally just call the bluff. I think I call the bluff. I think I just say he's not doing Kayla Duo Trio bosses right now. I'm going to ignore this for a bit.
Yeah, and that's a hard thing to do.
As insane as that sounds, I think he should call the bluff.
Well, you lose outright, I think, if you don't call the bluff, barring incidents.
Yeah.
You go to block, and it just gives so much time to get right. If Rambler goes to block on Duo Trio bosses, he's gonna give Asym a ton of time to get ahead.
Yeah, he
so
has
you just
Rakshasas,
lose outright
by the
if
way.
you go for the block.
Yeah, I think Asym does go Bell Bearings and then force Rambler and Duo Trio. I think that's very clearly what happens.
Yep.
The question, I think, is if I'm Rambler, I actually just don't bite at all.
Yeah, because I mean, if Rambler starts doing Duo Trios, Asym can go get Force Dash Effect Ash of Wars, and now you have 2 Diags to consider, as well as a row.
I mean, I get why Rambler might try to chase him because Rambler has Rakshasas online. Like, realistically, the other weapon, like, Asym getting Falks here was very lucky for him because the other weapons just suck, right? If Asym doesn't find Falks, I actually think that Rambler would beat him to this. If Rambler just has a +0 Bastard Sword or whatever. Yeah.
Like, he could maybe think he has Helfins, right? So he knows he probably has a good weapon.
Maybe.
I think that's a safe assumption. But you could also be under the impression your opponent has just a +0 here and went for the squares, right? Like,
yeah.
This is kind of that information game in bingo that's so important. Like, if he looks at Asym's time, we're 30 minutes in with those 3 squares marked. I think it's reasonable to assume there's a weapon online there, but it's close. You could definitely think it's just +0 rush. 28 minutes. You probably have to guess there's a weapon involved. It's pretty fast.
It's just hard because the 2 weapons available suck to get online, right?
Yeah. Big breath there from Asym.
Yeah.
He might be thinking about it.
I mean, he might be. Because honestly, if I'm Rambler, I really do call this bluff. Like, I don't... Like, it's just a weird game. Because, like, if I'm Rambler, the only way that I see 2 ways for victory. Like, it's like... You either call the bluff that he's not going to finish the square, and then you're able to fight him in the other squares. Or you guys both rush and you get sniped, right?
Yeah.
Is Asym gonna die to Bernie?
Listen, never underestimate Bernasty, dude. That's his name for a reason. He's sick with it. He's a sick man.
Oh, he's trying to use Revenger's Blade and it doesn't work because he has too much poise. I was like, why is he having such an issue?
Unfortunately, that's going to be 2 snipes in a row for Rambler, which is just a lot of time you're putting in here that's not really going to do much for you. You will have a lot of...
All right, Rambler's going to kill him with the Repose. Oh, and Asym gets grabbed, but...
That shouldn't be enough to change the outcome of this.
Yeah, because Rambler doesn't have War Master Shack. He needs a very slow death for Asym.
Yeah. And Asym dying here would really be a shock.
Yeah. Bellbearing Hunters are tricky, but also their moveset is very much like riding a bike. Like, once you know it, you know it. It has a real rhythm to it.
Yep. It's usually you get it hit a couple times, remember what you're doing, and you're all the way in.
Yeah.
And there is the shield cycle here, where if you get behind him, he will just slam his shield over and over again. Makes him
and that's
very easy to
Bellbearing
use.
Hunters.
This is a scary spot for Rambler now. I mean, do you?
I mean, immediately goes Caled.
You have Rakshasas online.
So
you have more Caled progress. Asym's also running the Caled. A snipe back here will help a lot.
I like how Rambler sounds like he's in like a box. Like, I don't know why his mic is so much worse when he plays. Like, he sounds like he's underwater. Yeah, I mean, the bright side is that if Asym pushes it, I mean, the other option would be like the mid-ground option for Asym is push it with synergy. Like, push it, but start with Putrid Trio, right? Or...
With Falx is probably not ideal.
Yeah.
Granted, you did get Large Club from Bernasty, so maybe you go grab Sore Seal and get some good poise damage online.
Yeah.
And then it's very easy to cycle them with the Falx, I would imagine. It's just initially breaking their stance that will be annoying.
Yeah, I mean, he can't afford to risk it, but I just don't see why you do. Like, there's so much on this board. Like, why... This board is not... Like, Duo, Trio, and Caled is legitimately one of the longest squares on the entire board. Like, I just don't see why you push it. There's so much available.
Yeah, you get a lot of value out of pushing your opponent into it, right?
Yeah, like, there are 15 other squares on this board, almost all of them being faster than Caled, Duo, Trio. I just don't know why you push this.
What is that damage?
Rambler actually having a clean fight with these guys.
Yeah.
What level that? Is that +4 Rakshasas already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Asym's gonna go +5, actually.
Yeah, he could just be setting up Caled. There's a chance he's not really looking duo.
Yeah.
Just finally filling out his map progress, upgrading weapon a bit, right?
He gets backhand blades.
Oh. Backhand blades. Not a great weapon for us.
Horrible for base game bingo. Great for DLC
Horrible
bingo.
for base game bingo. Yeah, double S tier for DLC bingo for sure. We're gonna see a lightning perfume check here.
Yeah, I think so.
Are they both gonna do it? Oh, also sorcery check and meteorite staff here. You want to?
They might have GA'd it out. If they don't do the check, it means that they GA'd. But you could also go for a sorcery check and meteorite staff. Glintstone Arc works for Shade. Okay, according to Snowy, they have gentleman's agreement to not use lightning bottle for virgins.
Ah. It's a good GA. I like that.
Yeah, so Asym might check this for perfume bottle later. Holy shit, it is lightning. He laughs, so I think that means that it's not allowed for virgins.
Damn, that would have been a really powerful play.
Yeah.
I like the dynamic of being able to get into ult this early using that. I mean, the reason you could imagine why it's broken is Asym will get a square out of that, and all that setup Rambler did is completely useless.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is with it is, like, it's the same reason why, like, Get Dectus is, you know, a really strong, potentially overpowered square, right? Like, it's the same thing if the lightning bottle exists.
Yeah, it's just too powerful.
Yeah, it's too strong.
And it wasn't something we realized when the square was made. We only discovered in season an unwieldable lightning perfume bottle was +0 was one of the best weapons against virgins.
Yeah, which is so fucking stupid. It's so stupid.
You'd probably rather have that than like a +3, +4 somber in a lot of cases.
Yeah, unless it's a lightning somber, like unless it's like Stormhawk or something. Yeah,
and even then,
honestly, yeah.
A good GA from them, it'll keep the game a lot more interesting here.
Yeah.
Because if Asym was capable of using that, it would be pretty over.
Pretty cooked. All right, Rambler's going for Pumpkinhead Duo.
They'll put him at 2. Asym yet to approach it. Still setting up Caled. Ooh. Miss there on the charge attack. And Rambler just quits out smart. So you can about take out this first one that's sitting down with almost any +4 Sombra weapon. Assuming you get a stagger.
I mean, if Asym goes for this and gets sniped, this would be really bad. Rambler misses the charge attack again.
Attack?
Lock on and get closer, Rambler, please.
Silks, that's awful. I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that is not fun. There we go, Rambler hitting the charge attack.
And that's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
This is why Rambler's my GOAT. He only needs 3 tries to hit his charge attacks. Rakshasa is actually a really good weapon because you get that low poke here, so you don't have to worry about the pumpkin heads, right? Has to finish off this one club guy. Oh. And we're in a little bit of danger.
Is Asym going in Watchdog duo? Why?
He did grab the crystal darts.
I guess.
It also puts you by physic tiers. If you grab the Rambler goes down. No, I actually really like this play on this board. It puts you next to 2 physic tiers, gives you a dual boss. Not a lot outside of that, but
and
like,
Rambler didn't have a grace.
Oh no.
He's really set
Moons.
back.
Which is crazy because one of his fastest duos now is probably actually the Watchdogs as well if he has that grace up there.
Yeah. And he has darts.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, he's freaking out. He's tilted as hell.
It's a scary spot to be in.
And this is a very important game because, like, so the Red Mains division, this the way it's worked out, has not had quite as many games played right now. So currently, Helios is first at 4-1. Rambler and Strump are tied for second at 2-1. Then Asym's 2-2, Durf is 2-2, Ginger's 2-3, Dino's 1-2. Like, it is basically Helios and then Ra is 1-2, Sirius is 1-2. Like, it is Helios and then everyone else is like very much so in contention.
Yeah.
Helios, even with the loss to Ginger yesterday, has clearly separated in that division.
But the rest of the division is pretty tight.
Yeah.
Red Means is going to be a quite a close
because
race.
he still has he not only is 2 games ahead in terms of wins, but he has the tiebreaker over Strump and Rambler.
Yeah. There we go. Rambler's got the first one down, as does Asym. Watchdog, maybe a fight people know better than Pumpkinheads. Pumpkinheads are just generally squishier, so you don't have to worry about them as much.
Yeah. They will get him down at like the same time.
Does anyone actually know how to fight a Pumpkinhead?
I remember back when Gino was doing the rando no-hit stuff way back in the day, he was learning Pumpkinhead because the duo destroyed him.
And both enemies down as both players move on.
But it's 2-1. Rambler's going for clean Rot Knight duo.
I mean, it's fast
There's
enough.
A chance. I mean, if Asym has a
says you stagger loop the first one probably, so maybe better than Watchdog duo actually.
If Asym has a stupid fast Pumpkinhead and a stupid fast Nox duo, there's a chance, but it seems unlikely.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna get sniped by 30 seconds. Clean Rot's not crazy at all, by the way. Like it's very makes sense.
No, it's fast.
Yeah.
Also,
and
Gold Scarab has some value here with 12 incants and smithing stone bell bearing 1 and 2. Rambler could buy his way to a great katana plus 12 since he already has Altus unlocked, right?
Yeah. And there's night bosses. So
runes. Night bosses
Rambler
as well, yes.
Fucks up the rot. People have been messing up the rot drop today because Rambler did the same thing Ellie did.
I didn't quite see what happened.
Just he got the timing wrong and jumped down right when the geyser, so we would have gotten rotted. But he just memory erased out really quickly and fixed it.
Smart plays.
Asym is in a war with this Pumpkinhead, by the way. Like, this is just a war.
One to town.
All right, he gets it down.
Pumpkinhead. He might be able to bingo here.
I think Rambler has time.
Yeah, Rambler needs it to be first try. He's going. Thing.
Yeah, Rambler has to first try this.
And even if he gets it, he's actually in a pretty decent spot if he can get it.
He's in a fine spot. This is why I wouldn't recommend Asym to push this line, right? Like, he could have gotten 3 or 4 squares and just guaranteed, right? Like, now he's down. Now he's only up 2 squares, right? It's a very weird game.
Oh, Rambler having a decent start here. There's a bleed. Out of the way of that spear. That hitbox can be really funny on occasion. Yeah. Always a weird, even when you clearly dodge that attack there, you can feel like you're
loop
gonna miss.
All the way back and hit you? What the hell?
Yes. If that disc gets thrown, you pretty much have to dodge it or strafe it. There's no positioning where it's gonna miss you, even if you're right on him.
Yeah, I know Rambler gets nothing from night bosses, but Rambler's only down 2 squares. Has more map progress. Has a better weapon. Like, this is not good.
Yeah, as long as he gets that block, which he did, I actually like Rambler's position a lot now. Yeah, you're down 4-2.
I don't think he's the favorite, but I think he has 30% odds at least. That's why that's why I'm so shocked that Asym chased that bingo. Because if Asym doesn't chase it, this is the scenario where Asym loses, right?
Yeah. And to be fair, he was close.
Yeah.
If Watchdog Duo and Pumpkinhead Duo cooperate with him a little more, like, he might have gotten that.
Yeah.
Now, is Rambler going to go push his Altus Prio here?
He's pushing status effect.
Status effect as well, yep.
While finishing Altus.
I like that play a lot. Shut down both the diags. Put yourself into Altus. Have advantage on a good amount of squares. Asym, meanwhile, taking on Margit, heading into Stormveil, another really good play. We talked about, you got Dupe and Crucible Knights in there. And we'll actually get him back in the race for pots at this point.
I mean, he kind of has to do this, because if Rambler does crackpots and dupe right now, he's in deep shit.
Yeah.
Actually, that is what Rambler... I think that's what Rambler should be doing. Crackpots and dupe, probably.
Yeah. Painrot Knight Duo straight to Margit would not have been a bad move.
Yeah.
But... Status Effect Ash of War takes care of a lot of issues for Rambler.
Yeah, it does.
It proactively takes care of many issues. If Asym gets that square, that's 3 lines. It'll have 2 squares in them all at once.
It also gives him Altus. It also gives him Altus, right?
Yeah, that's not something you can ignore, and then you also get Altus on top of it. I think it's just too valuable.
Yeah.
Even if there's a better way to kind of push your bingo threats and get Asym off his game, I think, once again, Rambler's probably making the better, just long-term play here.
And I think Asym's rattled. Like, why Crucible Knights? I don't understand Crucible Knights.
This could just be C square, do square.
Maybe you have a shit
lot
weapon
of
for
energy into the bingo.
It's a shit weapon for Crucible Knights, though. I think he's just a little rattled.
Yeah, and I like when you are trying to figure out what to do on a board like this, I don't mind just going to get a square.
Yeah.
Like, just going and doing something is better than sitting there and trying to figure something out, right? It'll come to you. But in the meantime, get some value. Get ahead in Stormveil, maybe go get Crucible Knights. Although I'm surprised Asym doesn't see the value in status effect Ash of Wars for himself.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess there's night bosses too in camp. I don't know. This is such a weird game.
Yeah. This is 2 incants, isn't it? For the 2 Crucible Knights.
Yeah.
It's not awful.
Okay, Rambler's Rakshasa was only at +3. Now he gets it up to +4.
Excellent. Yeah, the damage did feel a little off to me. It didn't feel +0, but
yeah,
glad to see that. And now, yeah, Rambler's going for status effect Ash of Wars.
Yeah.
Oh, I really actually like how Rambler's played this. He got into a really dangerous position there, but I mean, he's got.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah.
I
don't know. I don't like rushing early bingos like that though, especially when there's so much on the board. Right.
Yeah, that's fair. I do think that's a bit of a misstep from Asym, but I also get like I have the weapon online. I don't know what he's been doing. There's no reason for me to not go for it.
So this will be Rambler's 3rd status effect Ash of War. Now he'll get into Altus and get Bloodblade. That'll be his 4th. Okay, so Asym's clearly going night bosses, like going for synergy, night bosses, Liurnia bosses.
Yep. You could do this and the Bloodhound Knight and Liurnia as well to finish a lot of that up.
My thing is with Asym's inability to stop Altus, that he's probably not going to realize.
No.
Like these lines can get scary, right? Like if a Rambler wins dupe and crackpots, it's GG.
Yeah,
and he might go for it right now. Like if he gets dupe and crackpots right now, it is GG.
I mean, it looks like he's running towards crackpots.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's actually going Knight's Cav for Ice Spear. Interesting.
Why is he doing this and not Bloodblade? The only thing I can think of is that for some reason he doesn't want to go to Altus.
Yeah, maybe doesn't want to sell his Altus Prio yet.
Well, no, I mean, it wouldn't. The only thing I can think of is that if maybe he wants to preserve Crucible Knight Misbegotten Warrior Duo for some reason, or he just thinks this is a race and that this will be faster.
Yeah. Now the single Clean Rot Knight that is just lost and alone in Liurnia, facing off with Asym. He went for the kick right there. All right, Asym.
Asym has to immediately go dupe. Has to.
Yeah, dupe's gonna start to look pretty big.
Once because I mean, once status effect gets marked, it has to be dupe. I don't even think he has time to finish night bosses.
No, and that Knight's Cav went down fast for Rambler as well.
I mean, +4 Rakshasas just destroys folks. Asym goes back to first step.
Could be looking to set up Weeping a bit here, perhaps. Or his last night boss and then Weeping, right? You got the Bloodhound Knight.
Where's Rambler going?
Rambler is heading to Altus, I believe.
Yeah. I guess I just mean more like, why is Rambler going to Altus?
He's going to have to do it at some point.
Yeah, I mean, set it up. You probably think you have some sort of advantage. I also like this game. Like, how the hell do you track anybody, right? Like how do you track your opponent, right? Because Asym marked a square at 31. Also, like Rambler's difficult to read, and Asym last marked a square at 31 minutes. Like this game is hell, right? You have no idea where your opponent is. You cannot read them. Like it's lost. Once you lose the scent on your opponent, on where your opponent is, it's almost impossible to get it back, right?
Yeah, as soon as Rambler marks Altus, I think Asym will be able to pick up on a lot
Yeah.
of what has happened here.
Yeah, and Rambler might be thinking Wormface, especially with the Physic Tier synergy and the fact that it promotes his column 2 and row 2.
Holy
I
smokes!
mean, there's
One Ash
night
War.
bosses.
One Ash War almost entirely killed the Bloodhound Knight. That was insane.
All right, nothing from Rambler.
Hmm.
Yeah, night bosses would trip me out too.
And Night Bosses is also just, again, a hard read.
Yeah.
It is impossible to know what's going on here.
You have no idea where your opponent is. I think Asym's going pots.
Going pots now from Asym is something I like. I always like pushing into prio. I'm pretty sure my opponent has.
The thing is, if Rambler goes Wormface and then pots, he loses it. Asym sets the time to night, though. Status effect Ashes of War is gone. No. Just for Liurnia bosses, I guess?
Yeah.
But
Well,
move pivots out of it.
Kill Renala instead, perhaps, is what he's thinking here, and get dupe.
I don't think he knows what to do. Which is fair.
It's a weird spot.
I have no idea what the hell to do.
Like, Altus is becoming more prevalent here.
Yeah.
Like, it's time to start thinking about that or getting ahead and weeping, probably.
I think you need to address row 2. Row 2 just must be addressed. I think he's going Renala for dupe.
Yeah, Renala for dupe, I don't hate at all. It's your fifth Liurnia boss, you get your dupe. But I'm starting to get worried that by the time Asym has to address Altus, it will be pretty irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be Spirit Spring dupe too.
I don't know about that.
Doesn't have weeping if he thinks he needs it.
I believe you have to wait a minute 45 or 2 minutes for that one to move into position.
Okay. Rambler's doing Tree Scent Duo into Incants, it looks like.
Oh, not bad.
We'll go full screen with Asym here as he starts his fight.
Renala with Falk should be a pretty nice little square here for him. And then we're seeing one of the rare Renala fights where you're not waiting for summons. Thank God. Not quite a one phase. Oh, he pushed for it. He really pushed for it. Couldn't quite get it done. A little more stamina would have gotten it. One last child somewhere hiding in the bookshelves.
I've got to say, this has probably been the weirdest game of the season. Like, one of them.
Yeah, I'm... Like, I've been a little genuinely confused. I think the board is very difficult, A. And B, I think Asym's play made sense to me, but Rambler is throwing me for a loop.
I mean, Rambler threw me for a loop at the start. Now I think it makes... Now I think he's...
Yeah.
Makes more sense.
Tree
We'll
Scent-
go dual screen because Rambler is fighting Tree Scent Duo. Like, Tree Scent Duo into Incants. Like, he's just going for synergy.
Yeah, that's a very logical play. And it also starts to make that early play of getting everything set up and getting ahead make sense, because he's going to get it to 6-5 here, probably.
I mean, the biggest difference to me also is just the, like, Rakshasas, if online, is insane. It's Rambler's favorite weapon, actually, in all of Bingo.
Yeah.
And Falx is very situationally incredible, but as a whole, mid, right?
Yeah. It's a good enough weapon for sure. Like if you have it,
Asym has 1 HP here.
Oh no. At least he got the wolf summons. That should help a bit.
Okay, he gets it. And laughs.
He's
careful.
relieved.
I was a little worried that one of the wolves was going to come up and bite his ass and kill him.
Yeah.
I've seen that before.
Right, I've died through the summons after, and if you die right away after you kill her, I'm pretty sure you miss the drops. Meanwhile, Rambler on his second tree scent here. This also put him right by Smithing Bow Bearing 2.
I think Asym's going to be shocked when he sees that Rambler's in with us already.
Yeah, that really kind of fucks up your day. I'm not gonna lie. You see that, you're like, oh, a lot of things suddenly make sense.
I mean, at the very least, thank God you're going for Dupe, because Dupe will. If he was doing anything other than Dupe saves his ass, because it saves his ass on row 2 and column 3, which are Rambler's probably 2 best lines. We'll check. We can't hear Asym, but we'll see from his face.
I saw an O right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's thinking about that one. You kind of have to fully reevaluate the board once you see that.
Yeah.
Because that is...
Asym's going for Liurnia
information.
bosses. Will be his last Liurnia bosses. Rambler's buying incants. You can't use Revenger's Blade against Adon. He has too much poise. You cannot use that, Asym. That's bad. Stop that. I guess you could use just use running R1s. Good boy.
Adon does bleed fairly easily.
And he goes down. Also, what happened to Rambler? How did he not have enough money?
It's inexpensive. Purchase.
Oh, I think he needs to buy 2 more at Turtle Pope.
Yeah, because he doesn't have a book.
And now he'll go to he'll get the last one for this is gonna be the Blood Flame Blade pickup. Yeah, Asym somehow managed to mute himself, by the way. Like that's not me. He just managed to mute himself somehow. I'm not really sure. I kind of wish he didn't so we could hear him, because this is like the most confusing match ever. And we can't hear one of the players. One of the players is so pissed he's not talking, and the other one's muted himself. It's ideal.
And meanwhile, both commentators are in absolute confusion.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what's going on. There's 12 incants.
Asym fires back with Liurnia bosses. Rambler now goes Worm Face. If Rambler goes Worm Face into Leonine, this is such a weird endgame.
Yeah.
I really think Rambler's winning, actually.
I agree. I thought he was winning around status effect Ash of Wars.
Yeah.
I think the map presence, the early Altis, like there's just too many squares he has advantage on. Assuming he does it properly, chooses the right squares, and
he can get weird synergy. Like he can get Worm Face with Physic Tears, right?
Yep. That's a great one.
Like it's not over, obviously. Like he's just in the lead, I think, even though the score says otherwise.
Oh yeah. I mean, pretty much every Altis square is his right now.
All right. Well, Snowy the Great has proclaimed it's over, so thus it is. All hail! All hail the last. He's the last undefeated. All hail.
Yeah, something like this could do it for, or would help Asym. Any
am not
deaths or
surprised that you
mistakes
are.
by Rambler are going to let him catch up.
I can't tell if Asym's going noble or Alta or virgins. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, the crazy thing is if Asym could use the lightning perfume bottle, this situation would not be close to as dire. Time to break the gentleman's agreement, Asym.
Where's my stagger?
I mean, to be fair, if he wins because of a broken GA, that's not illegal. Like,
Yeah.
it's fucking scummy as shit.
It's scummy as shit.
But, and
just
Asym
horrific.
dropped too early and died.
Oh no. I doubt he's thinking about it. He's probably thinking I
Yeah, there's no way.
A plus
Yeah.
6, and then I want to go do it with foul.
The only other way is it's possible they agreed to a time limit, like an hour. After an hour, it's fair game or something. But that'd be pretty complicated GA to agree to. All right, there's Wormface. Yeah, Rambler's going Leonine.
Interesting.
Well, because he has a lead on Physic Tiers. He started with Crackpots, and the Bell Bearings are Altus, and he hasn't shown Altus.
Yep. I mean, you might as well. Column 4 is by far your strongest threat you can start building right now. I think
Yeah.
with the Rambler.
Wiki, it's fine. We'll just let him play it out. He probably doesn't know why he's muted, so it's gonna. If it was like Ratty or someone, I would say too, because like they're a streamer, they
Yeah, I
can
could fix
figure
that
out
in
very
2
quickly
seconds.
why they're muted. For someone who doesn't stream, it's like, what's wrong with my mic? What's this? What's that? Like it's kind of difficult to figure out why you're muted if
Yeah.
you don't know. So yeah.
It would probably necessitate a pause. You
Yeah.
don't want to interrupt the match here just because we can't hear Asym. We can
Yes.
see his face, and so far that's been expressive enough.
Yeah. I mean, streamers know what like I know, like I check OBS, I check my mic, like I look in like 3 places, like, and then I figure
Yep.
and I figured out. If you don't stream, it's like, what's happening? Why is this not here? Right? Because yeah. Just
Once Landon gets marked here, I think that's a pretty significant shift in both players.
especially
minds.
because misbegotten bosses too, right?
Yeah. At this point, if Asym wants misbegotten bosses before Rambler, he's gonna need to go Crucible Misbegotten duo, which is just too far. of a
But I
run.
think
Like, there's no
Rambler
way.
will hold Prio.
He will.
Yeah. And the deeper this goes, the more Rakshasas over Falks. Like, Falks is really strong early. But, like,
Yep.
the deeper you get with Falks... Like, the value of Falks is that it's a somber weapon that you can get online almost immediately. Right? That's why it's so good.
Yeah. I see people saying Rambler needs to kill Radon to kill Misbegotten Crucible Duo. His next Misbegotten boss is almost certainly Scaly Misbegotten
Yeah.
because he has Weeping. He doesn't need to worry about Radon or
Yeah.
any of that at all.
I mean, if it bleeds Falks is insane, but the other weapons on this board were... That is true, but not... I mean, Rakshasas and Steeple. I like... It's not better than Rakshasas. That's blasphemy.
Yeah. I think Ray Katanas are definitely a step above Falx.
Also, Asym Striker, thank you for subbing to Ratty.
Oh, thank you, Assassin. Good to see you, brother. Been a minute.
I know. I figured it was probably Assassin, but I thought it was funnier to say Asym.
I'm.
I'm.
And speaking of Asym by the Faith tier right now.
Which way is he
ignore it.
running? Left or right though? Is he going to Leonine?
Left.
He's
Yeah, I
going to
think he's
Leonine.
running.
He's gonna get sniped.
Oh, it's the right call.
Unless Rambler gets sniped by the Misbegotten with the bow. He survives, but that was really close. But he skipped the grace that he swore that he would never skip. Oh God,
He's
Rambler,
running.
what are you doing? Okay, he's good. Rambler swore that he would never skip that grace. So last season in the Crucible, it was a basically playoff match to make the playoffs. It was a Leonine race last square. One guy was a minute ahead and died doing the jumps, and that's how his season ended.
Oh.
Yep. because he didn't grab any of the graces. Rambler didn't grab the graces, and he died.
Oh my god.
This is fantastic.
Oh my god. Fortunately, Asym's going to dupe, but this is a colossal waste of time.
No, Stocko, that was effectively the quarterfinals. Like 4 players made playoffs in the Crucible last season. It was Ness and Z playing for a playoff spot. It was like it was basically. Hey, I cursed him, but Rambler swore he'd always grab that grace. So he broke his code.
Curse. That was fortune telling.
I reminded Rambler of his code, and he broke it.
It was happening no matter what. Like, who's saying that did nothing? That one was going to happen. All right, and I like seeing Asym finally get duped. This takes care of a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Kind of just start playing again. I don't think there's anything more annoying in bingo than being forced where your opponent wants you to go.
Yeah.
Or having to make blocks.
I mean, he's going to be forced into crackpots, though. Or physic tiers.
Yeah. I mean, bell bearings is out of reach for sure at this point, I think. Cracked pots is very doable for him. He does have Storm Veil. He'll just need to grab the Saints Bridge one and then the regular route.
He's not going Leonine.
I'm kind of fucked.
I think he's going Volcano Manor now that he's made the
Yeah.
block. That death might have spared him a little bit there.
Nope, never mind. He's going back to Leonine.
Indecision. All right, Rambler, you like to look at that grace this time?
Yep.
Look at that.
Look at that.
How much time did that cost?
I don't know, 60 seconds plus?
No, grabbing the grace.
Oh, 2 to 3? I guess he had to kill the Misbegotten. We'll say 5. We'll say 5.
Otherwise, he would have contested Wormface.
It's always nice to see Rambler do
shockingly,
un-Rambler things.
Rambler has a read on, I don't know how, but he has a read on Asym. He has the right read, too. He just said he killed Renala because otherwise he would have contested Wormface. That wasn't Radon. He was worried about it being Radon, the dupe.
Okay.
I don't know how he has that read, but he does.
Stole read out of
Yeah.
Rambler there. Now Mr. Wins Games steps up to face our Book of War author, Rambler. Should be a stagger here. No? Color me surprised. Laying in with more poise, but not enough health.
We'll just see Asym's face here. Muddling to himself.
Yeah, I don't think he liked that.
I was expecting an aura. Oh, one of the two. That's what I was looking for. Didn't see either of them.
Yeah.
All right, the question is Rambler going physic tiers or finishing Misbegotten bosses?
Oh, surely Physic Tears here. I think Rambler's good enough to abuse his prio.
Yeah. No, he's going scaly, though.
Also fair enough. 1, 2.
Hey, there's Rivers of Blood.
I mean, yeah, if he gets Misbegotten here, he knows he's ahead in Altus, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. He can guess he's probably ahead on Physic Tears and Cracked Pots.
Yeah.
Another 2, so even if you get sniped off of 1, you have a path to victory if you get Misbegottens here.
Yeah.
And realistically, Asym isn't even going to push it, so you probably should just go finish it.
Also, there's a chance Asym grabs these in Jarberg and then might pivot off of Crackpots once he sees Misbegotten marked, because marking Misbegotten signals to me that Rambler's playing for maturity, and he's not actually going to care about this bingo.
Yeah. Well, we're starting to get to the point where it's like, cracked pots is one of the faster squares left. But maybe just finish it anyway. It's a tough call if you're Asym here. Scaly Misbegotten destroyed. That'll be 2 Misbegotten bosses for Rambler, putting him in the lead 8-7. An hour and 11 minutes into the match. After a brutally terrifying start down, what, 4-1?
Yep.
Quite the turnaround.
All right, where's he going now? He's in Caelid, sorcery only?
Most likely sorcery only,
Yeah.
possibly setting up Radon for your bell bearings.
Yep.
Either way, the Grace by Radon is pretty necessary at this point.
He got very turned around.
Yeah, where are we going, Rambler? What are we doing?
He's rambling. He just wanted to say hi to Execussy.
Bro, I love Exekis. That's my Mr. Wins games.
Ezekiel wins games.
For me, against Ellie, apparently.
True. This is very true. Rambo's gonna be kind of pissed when if he loses crackpots.
I don't think so at this point.
Okay, Rambler's grabbing this cracked pot. That's the most Rambler thing to know that he
remembers that cracked pot was there.
Of course he remembers that cracked pot. Of course he does.
I fucking love Rambler. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It takes no time for him to grab that, I guess. He's probably just, if I get it, I get it.
And under his breath while drowning, fuck from Rambler was the response. Because he still sounds like he's underwater.
That's funny. Holding prio on 10 cracked pots for an hour and 14 minutes is not a way to make your dreams come true, buddy. That's funny.
Yeah, that's very funny. All right, now it looks like he's either going virgins or noble.
Noble starts to build a good threat. I think you can justify doing that before you go.
Rambler's going physic tiers. At this point, all the bingo... Well, I guess Asym technically can still bingo on column 5, but that's not real.
No, I mean, there's too much prio for Rambler on column 5.
Oh, he's checking sorceries here. Fia's mist is horrific.
Going to sell in. Interesting when you need the
losing
meteorite
crackpots is
spell.
really bad for Rambler.
I don't know if
I mean, it's not game losing, but like this game's a hell of a lot different if Rambler has crackpots instead of
he
Asym.
should have cracked pots at this point, right? You don't start with cracked pots and then just ignore it.
All right, he gets abducted successfully this time.
Let's go. Honestly, him not getting abducted successfully might have been a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
All else considered, what he's done since then. Another Pumpkinhead fight. A lot of those today.
Let's see what the sorceries are.
Come on, selling. Lift shard, that'll work.
That'll do, donkey. That'll do.
I believe
Rambler or Asym fails cage skip there.
Got it.
And
though.
now he's going for noble.
Charm. Oh, that was a weird jump. That made me uncomfy. Not even stopping. I guess you can grab the Somber 5 on your way back down. He probably wants to get into Altus this way.
He already has the Somber 5.
Oh, yeah, he did stop to grab
he does have a +5.
That is correct. Tough spot to be in for the Circle of Flame. So far, a pretty good fight here out of Asym. Gets the jump attack in. I actually really like that punish with the Falx over the slam attack. No bleed as of yet, and even despite that, damage looking pretty good here for Asym. I think the biggest concern will be +0 flasks. He should be able to take most of the hits, but not many of them.
This is decent damage.
There's the bleed.
And there's a bleed.
Oh, not healing. Actually staying in on this one. Getting a stagger with the Falx. That's probably a good time to heal.
This is where Asym needs to be real careful.
Yep. And just start running in the circle here. Once you get those that initial dodge, he actually threw in a second one.
Great attack.
Yeah, great punish there. Got exactly what he needed. That'll be noble for Asym.
Mm-hmm.
Not the biggest square, but that might start to push Rambler towards working on Altus here.
Yeah. I have no idea how this plays out. I'm just confused at this point.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting match.
Well, I mean, I'm not confused, but, like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, nothing here works well together anymore. It is it's a pretty even game, and they're literally just going to be taking squares.
Yeah.
No matter if someone gets sniped or if the squares they choose are faster at this point.
Rambler's ahead on map. Asym has one Crucible Knight dead. Rambler's ever so slightly ahead on Physic tiers.
That damage is actually... I mean, this is definitely doable, but that damage is not good.
Yeah, it's because it's not Meteorite Staff.
Yeah, it's always... Especially with Physic tiers on the board, you might as well go get Meteorite Staff in the Int tier, I would think. Perhaps it was slightly faster to get this. And it is doable.
Yeah, I guess 5 blasts, he'll be fine.
Yeah, that was the first one. He needs him to stop teleporting as well.
There you go.
There
you listen.
go. That's a good chunk. Good dodges. Not getting gooped on and cleaning up the square.
Also, looks like Asym is going to honor GA.
I respect that. What a man. He's a man. Not a boy.
Oh, because he could easily steal this. Like, if he were to actually use perfume bottles on virgins, that would...
Yeah, this is unironically like the best play right here, and because they've agreed to GA something that's probably a little too powerful, that's not in the cards for him. And granted,
This is also
I don't think Rambler has a
big.
perfume check, so Gillica's still very much on the board for Asym.
Mm-hmm. This is big. This is probably the most difficult fight left in the game for either of them.
You think
This or
Abductor
Radon? Yeah,
I don't think Radon is a challenge at this point for either of them.
I agree.
This is by far the hardest fight we're going to see here. They really are not choosing to make it easy on him.
Gets the first one down.
There you go.
Rambler's going lightning ram.
An interesting choice. Don't hate it. It is a bit of a long square, but it is one of the ones you probably want to clean up before you go for the bell bearing squares or trio square. Asym now finally in Altus. I don't know if he's going to be able to take much advantage of this.
Well, he has to take something, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have to.
Because if he gives up Altus perfume bottle, bell bearings, the other bell bearings, and Ash of War, he just this game, right? So you have to go into Altus. You literally have to.
I wonder why he's grabbing this Grace.
For the Watchdog, for the Grave, your Ghost Clovewort bell bearing later.
Yep, that's correct.
Might have been better to grab the Catacomb, just like go in the Catacomb itself, but regardless, that's why you got the Grace.
Okay, that's heads up play there. And it looks like he is going to go Gillica with the lightning perfume.
The only thing is against Gillica, you kind of actually want to be able to wield the lightning perfume bottle. The lack of the damage sucks without the faith.
There is a new tech for the lightning perfume bottle square. There's a new way to do it faster. It might be.
Oh, he does have Rex. Never mind, he has Rex. I'm good.
He has the Rex, yeah.
You talking about the horse tech Gillica?
Yep, horse tech. I can't remember who it was. Stocko, Shura. Someone suggested I do the perfume bottle on the horse as a joke while I was practicing a little bit, and it turned out to be significantly faster than doing it any other way.
Yeah.
So, shout out to all the other Golden Order players. Go practice Gillica on a horse with perfume bottle. It's by far the fastest way to do it. I'll give up that tech.
Let's see if he does it.
Actually, it might have been Ginge who told me to do that.
He is doing it.
He knows. He was there. Yeah, because you hit so fast on Torrent for whatever reason with your light attacks, it ended up being the best way because she really can't hit you, and she doesn't hit Torrent hard enough for it to be a huge issue. It's not like this is Torrent only. If you get knocked off, you just resummon. Oh, he's getting off. No fun, Asym.
Rambler is actively doing lightning ram.
We're just gonna go to 10-10 right here with the two faster squares off the board. And honestly, the funniest part of Asym doing this is I think no one knows how to fight Gillica. It's another one of those bosses you just go in and crush. There's Lightning Ram for Rambler. But because of this square generally necessitating a +0 weapon, I think everyone has learned how to actually fight Gillica. If your biggest worry is when you're behind her like this after an attack, she has that head bite right there that you need to be very aware of. You have to dodge it early. Like, you cannot react to it. You have to know it's coming. So right here, 2 hits, and it should be a dodge.
Two-handing is slower. Don't ask me. The perfume bottles are just weird. It's slower to two-hand, though.
Two-handing perfume bottles is slower and less damage. Most of us have learned to do it one-handed with light attacks, and currently the fastest way is on Torrent light attacks.
Rambler's trying to steal Crucibles.
Not a bad move. I don't know if he'll manage to pull it off, but...
Well, Asym looks like he's going Trio.
Trio's a little crazy right now.
I think I either go Crucible Knight, Smithing Stone Bell, or Smithing Stone Bell Bearings here.
Yeah, Glove War Bell Bearing's probably the last square off the board,
yeah.
I have to imagine. Because you have to go do Radon and a Catacomb and run down, so that's not in contention. Of the other 4...
I think they will both wait on Graven Ghost. I honestly think it's just whoever can get to 12 first and then full send to Graven Ghost.
Yep.
That's probably how this end game goes.
Like, I mean, I think Asym has the slightest advantage on Grace for that in terms of getting to the 12 Wart Bellbearing, or whichever one is in Altis. But
yeah, Asym's going trio. Falx sucks for trio. Falx is horrific for trio.
Well, stance breaking them is the problem. I think after that, it's actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
Which he does have a couple of good stance breaking weapons in his arsenal if he can wield them. Maybe +0 to break stance and then get the Falx online moving. Meanwhile, Rambler will manage to get Crucible Knights out of this, which I really like.
Honestly, yeah, Rambler should have probably gone Imbued Key Crucible. I think Belfry's Crucible is better.
Yeah. I do not disagree.
Because there's nothing else in Stormville.
This is going to be weird.
This is real weird.
I mean, Rambler's going to get a mover's advantage here on the next squares they select. So we're definitely going to end up 11. Or did Asym just only prep that and move out? Okay, never mind.
No, this is a race now for Crucibles.
Okay, okay. Oh my. Not only is it a race, it slightly favors Asym, but Rambler probably does have the better weapon.
Rambler has a much better weapon.
Is skilled low enough that I don't think it'll matter. Rambler's gonna get sniped here, I think.
I think he is. If he went Belfry's Crucible, he would have had this. This is really bad. As long as Asym doesn't either get sniped or... Because I think Rambler will go Putrid after this. It's just his best square by far. Right?
Yep. Asym might be able to pull this out right here. Asym just timing that really well. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he got a little lucky, but setting up Trio into this is
I mean, I think
really
I honestly think he might have just simply forgore about Crucibles. Like, it's very possible he just looked at the board and was like, oh shit, yeah, I should finish that.
Rambler's about...
Because he should have gone Crucibles
30 seconds
before
behind him.
Putrid, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's too much damage.
Way too much damage. And Rambler's not
Rambler
eating himself off.
does not know the skip or doesn't believe in using it, but that probably wouldn't have mattered as he's getting sniped right here.
This is it. This is the game.
Unfortunate. This is going to put Rambler in a bad spot. Asym. Where is he going?
Where's Rambler going? Rambler's going Physic Tears. Asym's going Radon. Why are neither of them going Trio? I said that backwards, by the way. Asym's going Radon, Rambler's going Physic Tears.
Yeah. No, Asym is, I think he's just setting up a little more towards Radon.
Okay. Here's
If you're
Trio.
Asym here, you probably do have to take a look at your weapons and see what bonk you have.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine going into this with Falx.
It would
Probably
suck.
very doable. It's probably not even that bad. They're pretty late in the game here, +5. I just know the poise damage on curve swords isn't great.
Sorry, I'm like choking to death.
That's okay. Simply allows me to inherit your titles and lands. This was always the dream.
Yeah, whatever you said. Yeah, I mean, I can't talk.
You're
Give
good.
me a second.
I think at this point, Asym has a clear line to victory. I'm not entirely sure what Rambler does to counteract that. Trio into Ghost Glovewort just wins the game. I don't think Rambler has the time to get the bell bearings. He is obviously not going to win Trio or beat him to Trio here. And Rambler's actually running towards the loose physic tier up by the Deathbird here past the Merchant.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Which, not a bad play, but I think physic tiers is just wrong for Rambler at this point. I don't know.
I don't know how you know what's right and wrong.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, when you're down 11-10 with these 4 squares, maybe it's his fastest option. Maybe it isn't wrong. And it's just Asym managed to kind of eke it out here a little bit.
This weapon sucks.
Yeah, this is really bad. It's like 7 or 8 jump attacks. Granted, I imagine now we will see them be pretty decent. And yep. He also has the multi-hit talisman. I can't... Yeah, it is equipped. Wing Sword Insignia. Which with Falx is a great combo. One down for Asym as he gets to work on this next one. He gets rotted. He realistically might not have enough time to do this. Gotta really get a move on. Alright, he's gonna stagger this one. That'll be a quick finish. He might end up cutting it a little close here. Oh yeah, and those are +0 heals as well.
Yeah.
It's gonna be close. Depends on how friendly the staff or stallion is. He maybe accidentally took the riposte, maybe just wanted it so the rot wore off a little more.
Oh! Gets
Oh, no.
ass blasted. He's gonna have to start fishing for backstabs.
Yep.
I think he's gonna die.
Do you get any poise damage out of those backstabs?
I have no idea, being honest.
You would have to imagine there is some kind of poise damage there. Oh no, this could be a tragedy in slow motion. That sucks.
There's physic tiers for Rambler, and now Rambler's going in.
Rambler with a much better weapon for this too.
Yeah.
That death by Asym actually makes this work a lot better. If he gets that fight there, Rambler's in a tough spot.
Yeah.
Instead, this... Oh, there is a stake here. I did forget about that.
Yeah, so he is ahead, but Rambler's weapon is so much better. Use battle... Oh, actually, Battle Axe bangs on these guys. Rambler's pivoting out.
Oh no. Oh no, Rambler. Asym back at the main fight. Battle Axe here, actual poise damage, also wild strikes, which not bad.
Rambler's setting up bell bearings, smithing stone.
That could be a good move. Asym just taking his time here. Still not great poise damage, but better. He's right next to that other one. If he accidentally hits it here, it might get a little angry at him. Yep.
Oh, it's Angie. And he dies
He
again!
dies again. Okay, had Rambler run through here, he definitely could have gotten it. As it is, Asym is giving him time to do the smithing bell bearings.
I love watching Asym just scream, but you can't hear what he's saying.
I can tell you he's not happy right now.
I can tell you he's not happy at all.
I can tell you that at the very least. I think he said, gosh darn it.
Yeah.
What a shame.
I can't believe I died to the boss.
Oh, wow, that was unfortunate, but I
Yeah.
will regain and move forward. I like to imagine that's what he said.
Yeah.
Realistically, he's much more like me.
I mean, he's actively turning red, so. Now Rambler's setting up the other bell bearings too.
Gotta prep all three, right?
I guess.
It gives you a good chance here. I don't know if it's quite the correct move. It's just so hard to tell what to do with these 3 squares left on the board. Asym has chosen to commit and has 12 Wart Bell Bearings decently set up. There's the first one down again.
He's close to getting rotted again, though.
Yeah. Downside here is 1 or 2 good hits will rot him, and as we saw, that was a significant issue.
A skill issue.
But that's just an issue.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I'm glad we were on
No,
the...
you put that right in me.
Yeah. Miss you, Rat Pack. You died in the internet.
Yep. And Rambler committing to Glove War Bell Bearings, it looks like. Interesting. Interesting. Maybe having a good understanding here that this is almost certainly the final square.
I mean, this is just gonna be a race, right? Because Rambler goes here, then Rambler... By the time Rambler cleans up Smithing Stone, like, they're gonna be even. It's just gonna be a Radon race.
Wonder if
It
we'll see
sounds
a
fucking
skip out of
insane.
Rambler. Yeah, Radon race at an hour 40 is pretty
If
obscene.
Asym, funnily enough, if Asym tries to double prep, he's dead. He has to go straight for Graven Ghost.
I mean, that's hard to tell. Who knows what Rambler is really going to do here. He might fully ignore the smithing stones in favor of this. Try to soul read Asym a bit. And just say you don't have enough.
I mean, at this point, it's just between these. Like, there's no real right way. Like, it's just between these boys, right?
Yeah, they just got to know what the other one's probably going to try to do.
Yeah, they just got to soul read each other and try to make a blood. Like, that's it. Execute, go fast, soul read. That's it.
Great game out of both of them. A little weird and tough to read, I think, but they both played really well against each other. From a tough start to just a very tight game all the way through.
Okay, so Physic Flash was probably a snipe. You went for
Asym's going Radon.
So Asym is committed to the bell bearings.
Gives me some advantage.
I mean, can he afford to double prep here?
First.
No.
He gets the one bell bearing past Radon. Oh no. I don't think Rambler can win if he tries to do this tunnel.
I mean, he's very ahead on Windham Catacombs. Andy has a better grace for Radon.
Yeah. I suppose, does Asym have anything near Fort Height either?
No.
Okay, so Asym has 2 long runs, I guess.
Ready? I gotta make a call here.
Okay.
Ads, I have 1 snooze left, and ads have to run in 3 minutes. Do I
Run 'em
snooze
right
them
now.
and hope that the game ends in 8 minutes?
I would run them right now. How long are your ads?
3 minutes.
Ooh. If you run them now, fuck.
I don't know what to do.
I think you gotta run them now, brother. Because we want to see the end of the game.
This won't affect Ratty chat, which is my chat.
Yeah. You can pop over to my chat to watch if you really want to see.
Yeah, if you
but
get hit
would-
with ads, yeah.
I would run them now just because the end of the game is going to be
Yeah,
a
that's
little
fair.
outside that 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Twitch once again ruining great bingo matches, dude.
I know,
Unbelievable.
right? I hate Twitch. All my
Let me
homies
talk
hate
to
Twitch.
Bezos. Where's that bald fuck?
Where is that? Oh, fuck.
I got a message for him. All right. In the meantime, Rambler making good progress here. Does not do the Ray Lucari Crystal Tunnel skip. One of the
Nope.
most fuck skips in bingo, but actually a gigantic time save. Like in
Asym
enormous
likes
time
it.
save. Yeah, it's just really hard to learn, as I've been discovering.
Oh, it's awful. It's awful. I hate it.
But he does have a full lead on Windham Catacomb. He just
Yeah.
has to go back and get the boss dead.
I mean, the biggest thing is like neither of them can afford to die to Radon.
No.
Not that I think either of them will, but if you die to Radon, that's probably game.
And my time senses are just telling. I feel like Asym's ahead here. Maybe that's crazy.
There's no way they both die. They're too good at the fight. I'd be so shocked if they both died.
Yeah, I would imagine we'll see 2 to 3 bleeds on Radon here, and the damage is really good on Falx. I mean, Asym is maybe 30, 40 seconds into the fight. We're already almost to a phase transition. We'll probably see a second bleed right before here.
Rambler went bell bearings too early. Because now Asym doesn't double prep, right? There's only 1 square left. There's nothing to double prep.
Yep. Granted, Asym has a lot of running left. He has to run all the way to Fort Height and Underground, and has to run through Windham.
Alright, there's Smithing Stone bell bearings.
Rambler has the Fort Height Grace and will
Asym
be
gets
right
smacked.
at Radon.
Alright, gets Radon down though.
I think Asym has this. I mean, there's always a chance for incident in Windham as well. The Knight can get you, Imps do bleed. But I think in
Yeah.
a raw race here, if it all goes even and they both play well, I think Asym is probably about a minute ahead.
Yeah, his closest grace though is a Gillick North. Looks like he's gonna go for this one first.
That's fair. And actually, Gill Lake South is closer than I thought he was.
Yeah.
Like he was at First Step or Gate Front or one of those two.
Honestly, a Gil Lake South into the hole is not even that much slower. It's definitely
No.
slower, but not crazy.
You got to run down the cliff or hit the
I
spirit
mean,
spring.
I've seen parkour incidents. As
Yeah.
crazy as it sounds. Parkouring into the hole, trying to go too fast, you take a drop that's a little too far and die.
It'll be close here.
It'll be very close.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I think Asym's ahead, but
Yeah.
I mean, the other question is like, how much better is Rakshasa? Like, Rakshasas will probably be, I don't know about Radon, but it will be a lot better on the Watchdog. But I don't know if it's gonna be enough.
I don't know if it'll matter.
Yeah.
I think that at this point the Watchdog is squishy enough for both of them that it's not too big of a time sink.
Yeah.
If they enter the fight at the same time somehow, I would lean
This is a
Rakshasa.
scary parkour part. Asym cannot fuck up here.
Yeah. I've never seen someone fuck up here.
I've seen people
There'll be
fuck
no
up
match?
here. I've fucked up here. I'm fucking guilty. All right, he's good.
Yeah, and Rambler just now getting to Radon. It's gonna be.
Yeah.
He's just a little too slow. I don't think he could afford to do smithing stone bell bearings. He probably just had to leave that tunnel for the end, unfortunately, and there's no way to know that in his position. Like, it's so hard to make the decisions there in that end game with the 4 or 5 squares left on the board.
I mean, if Rambler can somehow get a 1 cycle, is this Rakshasa's +6? Or just +4? Oh, no, this is +1.
5.
This is +1.
Or 4.
Yeah,
I don't
you're
think
just
that's
looking at the
doable.
damage, it is not +6.
With good RNG here, he can get a pretty free stagger. Get a stagger and a bleed right here. Will be close. Oh,
Very close, but no cigar. Asym is now in the catacomb.
yep. Just not enough time for Rambler to recover this. Good effort out of him.
Yeah, I mean, not if there's a death, right?
Yeah.
Also, Rambler's stream froze.
Good on my end.
Yeah, just cut out for a second.
Just finished up Radon. There we go.
Yeah, okay. Rambler finishes Radon. These imps can be a problem. They throw these electric pots that can be a problem because it is in water. Also the knight. Those are the two things that are the problem. The boss is pretty free. So yeah, these guys throw electric pots. They can be a bit of an issue. Gets by them, fine. Okay, Rambler's going back to Windham Catacombs. Keep in mind, he's already pulled the lever. He just has to fight the boss. But yeah, I think he's out of time. This knight needs to be Rambler's strongest soldier.
This knight or the watchdog, but even then it would take
Yeah.
more than one death at this point.
Asym gets hit there.
It's something. And it's honestly faster to just let yourself die once you hit this lever.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna be crushing.
Wait, did he get the lever? Okay, he
No.
did. Yes? Did he?
Oh, not having the message hurts.
I can't see. Okay, he did?
Okay, I also missed it.
Yes, we are watching, but it's...
I'm watching Rambler's
Yeah.
fight, hoping he can like clean it up as fast as possible
Yeah.
and get onto the running section.
It just looked
Which
weird.
Unfortunately, did not happen.
All right, this is for the game.
Yep, Asym to ice it out. The damage is actually pretty bad, but I don't think it will matter here. Watchdogs, relatively friendly. Good jump attack. I love seeing that jump attack over the kind of spinning side swipe of the watchdog. It's a really cool punish. Can the watchdog be Rambler's strongest soldier?
Yeah, he needs it.
He's running the flats down. Asym does know the little strafe tech here, so there's about to be a lot of free damage. That
And the stagger, that'll do it.
Asym wins it. Unbelievable game. Another 13-12. Majority win there for Asym.
Crazy game.
Crazy game. Little heartbroken for Rambler there. You always are cheering for the underdog, and after that initial comeback, you kind of want to see it. But Asym, I mean, made a great play early and kind of just from there had to tread the water. And
also, that officially makes the Red Mains division absolutely insane, as everyone has 2 losses now except for Strump and Helios.
Oh my gosh.
That division's insane.
Yeah, that game tying up the entire division. These next 4 weeks for the Red Mains are going to be crucial.
3 weeks. 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Insane.
All right, we will bring them in. GG's.
GG's, Rambler.
GG's.
Man, what a game.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It will take some time for me to appreciate it.
Oh, that's okay. I had some things happen as well that
was an insane game.
Yeah.
Asym, my biggest question: why'd you decide to contest duo trio?
I don't know. I was gonna just go Stormveil and do my Stormveil play earlier by like getting Crucible set up and like getting cracked pots through Stormveil, but then I was like, I mean, I'm gonna have to go to Kaled anyways. Why not try to rush it at least? I don't know. I probably shouldn't have gone for it in hindsight.
Yeah,
if anything, oh, go ahead.
I was just saying it's a bit closer. Like I think you could tell. Like I feel like if it had gone a little more your way in the fights, you could have caught up and maybe done it.
Yeah,
but it was bold for sure.
Yeah, I mean, my Pumpkinhead fight was so long. After that, I probably should have just left.
Well, Ramblers was long too. He was trying to get the stagger and he missed the charge shard too at the start and had to reset.
Oh, fuck.
Because he was using Rakshasas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's why you like flew through this board mid-game. I had Falks from a very early... Like, I didn't start with it. I know it's a starting class. I found it in Blue Dancer Cave.
Why didn't you get Steeple?
I didn't even check Greatsword. I just ran with Falks.
Yep.
Well, that explains why I had a chance, because the beginning was awful. I got sniped on Red Wolf, sniped on Bellberry Hunters.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, no, that was my mistake. Like, both of them. Like, I was chasing. Because I didn't want to do dual trio bosses, and I should have just, like, immediately as you marked Red Wolf, I should have just done trio, so you don't even think. But yeah, I was chasing the whole game. I don't know if there was anything I could do. Like, I was 1 minute away from the bell bearing right now.
Oh, man.
And yeah, like, my hope was that I sniped you on Smithing Stone, but I didn't, right?
You almost did, because I was debating, and I was like, wait, he has Mega Prio on Smithing because of Lightning Ram, and just better Altus Grace's Tree Scent Duo. Like, my best Grace was the one right next to the Catacomb, so I was like, alright, I gotta gamble, and hopefully he doesn't take my what little prio I have on this square away. Plus, dude, you had a real chance. I fucking fumbled to trio twice, and one was really bad, the first one.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's why it took that long. I prepared the trio, and then I went for and then I went for like preparing everything else. I got the Smithing Bell Bearing 2. Then I ran through the Catacomb, opened it, didn't fight the boss. I think then you marked trio. I went for the second Smithing Bellberry, and then I went for Radon.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Oh,
I was
okay.
literally like I was about to jump into the rooftops in Nocron. I guess like a
Wow.
minute. It's not even a minute. It was like 30 seconds maybe.
Yeah.
I thought you had me on that. I'm not gonna lie, because of just how much time I took killing Putrid Trio. Like it just took
The
so fucking long.
Rambler pivoted a bit and also set up the Grace 4 trio. I think had he not, like, I get why he set up the Grace 4 trio, but had he not, I think, I don't know, it would have been within seconds, like a literal ask. I don't know.
I think the
Mm,
main problem was well, the beginning was horrible. I
right.
assumed that because you took long enough to mark anything, that I sniped you on dual trio bosses.
You
So
did.
I like the mess I created by going, because I started Great Katana and I said I
Mhm.
think I have time to sneak in, getting the source seal. The problem was as soon as I went to round table, I saw Rakshasa, and I
Right.
great sword was steeple. I said, "Oh my god, I'm fucked."
Yeah.
Because like my great katana is not gonna do anything. Uh, so I decided to just like rush to Liurnia, see if I could get either troll bosses or Red Wolf. I thought you were going to do troll bosses first because of Room Bear, and I was right. But I was doing the balloon route when you marked it. If you marked a little bit earlier, then I think I have a better chance because I was in the fight with Red Wolf when you marked.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. I had a +4 Falx at that point. Like I immediately after doing Blue Dancer, I just ran through Liurnia and set up
Yeah.
Falx,
Yeah,
and then I went back for troll bosses.
now that makes sense.
Well, also, I want
Yeah.
to congratulate you guys because now the Redmain's division is entirely open. Everyone except for Strump and Helios have at least one loss, or have at least two losses. Strump and Helios both have one. This division's fucking insane now. Congratulations to both of you.
Yeah, I guess. I
Yeah.
guess I'm helping. I guess I helped in the drama.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
For the content
Yeah.
Rambler.
I did
yeah.
too,
Oh,
especially with my last game.
also, one question for you, Rebel, before we get on out of here, or Stocko's gonna kill me. Why did you not clean up crackpots earlier?
Oh yeah.
Because he
Why
started crackpots.
I didn't.
And I know I'm saying, why didn't you? Like, why didn't you go for
Oh,
crackpots
he
at any
didn't
point?
start crackpots.
Oh, you
Is what he
didn't
said,
start
right?
crackpots?
No, I had great katana. I had
Yeah.
10 decks. My plan was get the lanes between him uh
Mm.
and source you.
Also, I have
So the answer is, Stocko, Grady and I are fucking stupid.
Yeah, we both missed that.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I just
Oh,
trusted who's.
wait,
You can blame
guys.
who's.
Yeah.
what cracked pot did I miss? Because I had 9 when I bought from Calais, and I bought Saint's Bridge. There's 2 in Stormvale, right? Or am I stupid?
You must have missed one in Jarburg.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back there right now because
Yeah.
I was baffled when I had 9. I
It was
was like,
funny
what?
because I like when you marked, I had just bought the crackpot from the K-Lead merchant.
I was like, of course Rambler knows about this cracked pot. Like, of course
Yeah, that was
he
funny.
does. Also, Rambler,
It's only if you don't
Rambler,
start with the
I
bots.
cursed the fuck out of you on Leonine, by the way, because I go, Rambler broke his code. He promised that he would never, ever, ever skip this grace, and then he did, and then you died.
Yeah. I
I
didn't
don't know
curse
what
you at all.
happened there. Like the game
Dude.
just said "fuck you."
Yeah.
Dude, there was a
Yeah.
split decision that I had to make with whether I went for Dupe or Leonine, and I think if I went Leonine, I might have gotten it off Rambler.
Only because he died, but possibly,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Would have been close.
Yeah.
Well,
All
just
right, that
I was
being
doing
said,
it based off the timings.
we got to get the hell out of here. So.
Please become Elden Lord.